Oh, wow, that booming voice. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to freezing cold February. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming here to the Cafe Gallery right here at Gallery Cabaret. Hi. Hello. Oh my gosh. Even my sidekick, the Bobster himself, Bob Rashkow, was like, it's too cold, I'm not going out today. And I'm like, what? Why are you breaking my heart, Mr. Man? Because, for those of you who know what Facebook is online, there's a thing that they always, if any friend uses a game, I get a notification from Facebook that's like, why don't you play this game? And I'm like, what the hell? I don't use games, you pricks. And so I'm like trying to cancel it. And I wrote out this complaint thing, and so he's like, oh, that's Facebook's issue. And I'm like, all right, well, it's still, and so Bobster writes on it, would you like to play funny faces with me? And he wrote it out that way. And I'm like, I'm gonna bring my camera and we can all make funny faces, and he can't even be here, but I've got my camera. And I feel like just to spite him, if anybody wants to make funny faces with me, you can bring the camera and do like idiot faces here for, I don't know, it's just a thing. But anyway, I wanted to explain because it is the 18th, and this was a birthday month for my grandma and on the 12th, and today is my parents' wedding anniversary, which is why I'm wearing my mom's pants and my dad's shirt and my dad's jacket. And I have a pendant that was my mom's, which I was the last of 5 kids, and it has their wedding photo on one side and like a picture of me as a 2-year-old. I was like, oh, I have to keep this. My mom's no longer with us, and I was like, I'll have to wear that. And because my mom didn't believe in pierced ears, I had to go with earrings that my grandmother gave me. So, but anyway, so that's why I'm wearing all these dots and things, but these are all my old clothes. And I should make a mention of Paul Ryan's book release. He's not here, and I don't know what his schedule is like until February 27th, but he has a book that is called Destruction Instructions, and he has a thing that's going on at the Uptown Arts Center on the 27th at 7 p.m. He's got a few people reading things. I don't know more details of it, although he's got me reading a few things, but I'm sure he's reading a bunch of stuff in his really cool book. And I have a Destruction Instructions chapbooks with spelling errors, and I was like gonna give him a Bobster or something, but in the meantime, before I call up my first guy, my Mr. Joffre man, I'm so awesome that you were here on time, because it might as well be early. Well, it might be a fraction of light out there. I thought I would read something from the Need to Know 2015 Daybook calendar, because it was Fat Tuesday yesterday, and it's Ash Wednesday today, and I happened to turn on Fox News, and I saw a guy with a smudge on his forehead. I'm like, okay, now my life is complete, I've seen that. But for this week, one of the poems that was on it is by Kelly Jean White, MD, and it's called Lent. I don't see anything Lent related in this, but that's why it's in for this week. This is called Lent. I knew my grandfather wouldn't come home from the hospital when we found the naked baby birds fallen, covered with ants, on his cold stone porch. Not Mississippi, I thought I'd show you this week's entries for that. I'm going to read something from myself from my journal since I was in India and traveling around like mad before I called it Joffre. I started writing things as we started traveling. We first went to Newark. I don't know if I in New York, and went out of Newark to go there. And because the storms are so bad, we had to stay in Newark for a day. So we're like, might as well go to New York. And this was something that I wrote. Well, we're there, why not? So this was written on January 10th at, well, it doesn't matter when, but you get the idea. When in New York, we entered the bus station to walk through to the train station to get to Newark. And in the middle of the hall, there were statues. Now, hear me out, because I thought this was really cool. In the middle, there were a few statues that looked almost like paper mache or plaster, statues of people standing still waiting at the bus station, looking at the schedule listing. Then I looked around and I saw a few more realistic statues of people standing still around them in different poses. One of them was looking at their cell phone. One of them was looking at the schedule. One of them held a newspaper. So I was staring at one of these realistic looking statues. I think it was a black woman looking at her cell phone. And she started to move. Okay, I turned around and burst out laughing at that bus station because I realized that I was just staring at people who looked like they were statues of somebody staring at their cell phone at this whole time. I mean, I'm looking around and I'm thinking, oh, these are statues, and they're actually people, and then they actually started moving. And I'm like, that's a good way to start a trip off. You know, just staring at people at the bus station. I'm like, holy crap, you're a person. You're not a statue like these other things around you. This is how people get lost in their, I'm staring at my phone. I'm reading my paper. I'm staring at a schedule. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please give it my first open mic of this evening. Give it up for Joffre Stewart.
I'll read three. The title of the first: Blacks Get Police Brutality from Politics. Malia's Hussein, a Gaddafi murdering Judas goat, leads the black vote this year of the Ram to NATO promote David Duke's Confederate flag waving for White House policy in Kiev, Ukraine. Title: Getting Something Out of a Predicted No Response. On a day, actually a Sunday, a gloomy Sunday, I passed out 91 copies of How to Write a Pre-Pearl Harbor Day Poem at Adams in Michigan, a day FDR's ruling class sleight of hand confines his friends, as we heard on the radio, to a military metaphor for Davy Jones' locker, the overwhelmingly wet Arizona. A day I wrote to a wood fox, innocent longer than the longest innocent at Guantanamo. I observed that Angola was the only U.S. place named for Africa, number 72148, in place. Did it mean that blacks were not merely at the bottom of the totem pole, but under the totem pole? If the wood fox is like most I write to, I won't hear back from the holiday card provided by the Partisan Defense Committee, which collected $1,300 on that lingering Garner Pantaleo protest Sunday. Stipends for prisoners of this land of the free, most unfree by inmate count in the world. This one is on the money. In fact, it takes us. In fact, it takes the title from this money, 97Q211131. In search of poetry, as with a crystal ball, I contemplate a 10 rupee note, part of honorarium as co-feature with Dan Weinberg, Gallery Cabaret, Rosa Parks Day. A 10 rupee note on the back, mostly Hindi, I suppose. The TENRUPEES, spelling out the only English by which Brit imperialism made India the largest English-speaking country in the world, even without Pakistan and Bangladesh similarly accented. A left profile seems to claim the rhino with elephant and tiger as one of its indigenous beasts, and the face of Gandhi on the face, and identified bilingually in a bilingual design where the Constitution has not worked for Dalits the way it has never worked for blacks. But would the Mahatma have thought this graphic honorarium a desecration of his anarchist intents for Mother India? How could a 10 rupee note be guaranteed by the central government if he intended to end the state, whose Hindu nationalism took him out decades before Modi made State Department terrorist list for massacre of Islamists who gave the Brits the ciphers that ID the note, 10. And now that such a Modi visits the Jerusalem-owned White House, what does it mean 10 years after Modi and the Zionists nuked the undersea for the monster tsunami first day of Kwanzaa 10 years ago? Oh, is that why Janet gave the a 10 rupee note? Uniquely 97 queer 211131. Or is it more like a Comrade Shackman trotting off the Attorney General's list to go into the State Department, now a patriot, to fight the Vietnam War, a proxy war with the USSR, about 20 years before being broken to dump Jews on backs of the Palestinians? We know it doesn't pay to be a good dictator, if language allows for that. Obama sent 120 cruise missiles at Gaddafi's anti-Zionism and proxy raped him to death. Rather, the bad dude, like stern gangsters, whitewashed for the White House, now in Modi mode.
Yes. Just curious, would you be interested in taking a goofy picture with me? Like making a funny face. I got my little stupid camera.
Funny.
Yeah, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, I'm just making this up as I go along.
Can I make,
We got a bright light here, and we
Can
can
I-
sit here and act really goofy and see ourselves on the camera and be like, I don't know, what do we... We must have done that. Wait, do you want us to, you want us to make funny faces, please? Because we must have... I don't know what you're doing. See,
She didn't get, thank you very much, Joffre. She didn't get to hear that when we were talking about the difficulty with the games for Facebook. Bobster, who can't make it here tonight, says, will you play funny faces with me? And I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring my camera and we're going to make funny faces. It's just like this awesome look at your face, Joffre. It's great. Sorry. So I just said, well, why don't I do that and make funny faces with people? And I've got to get out of this now. And, oh, that's you playing. That's awesome. I'd love to go back. Thank you. I don't know what to do. All right, I'll deal with this later. What I wanted to do was read a few poems, and I'm going to tell you after the next open mic or up at the phenomenal. I don't get to see this woman enough. She is quite the beast woman herself, Jackie Wolk. But I'll give her some props after this and pass around my hat and be like the color lady. But I wanted to read a few poems from the new issue of Down in the Dirt, which is an ISBN book and is called Treading Water. These are poems by other people, and I'm just going to read poems to you. I've got 3 of them short ones here. This first one is called Rosie the Riveter by Ralph Monday. I said, why are you, thank you. This is called Rosie the Riveter by Ralph Monday. Rosie was reading Mein Kampf on her lunch break. River gun in her lap. She really would have liked to have had a conversation with Anne Bradstreet or Emily Dickinson, but Anne was busy apologizing for her poetry, and Emily, dressed in white, was trying to escape from the cathedral. Poor girls, Rosie mused, never made the Saturday Evening Post, never knew we can do it. Took the last bite from her apple, went back to knocking in solid rivets for the boys and their B-29s. Somewhere down Rosie's line, Helen Reddy was warming up. Please from Ralph Monday. I believe that has also been in a chapbook, which you can also download for free at scars.tv in the chapbook section in 2014. This was not in a chapbook. This is a name that looks like it's from India, and I am terrible at not being able to pronounce it. Shubaji Yoshi is what I'm going to guess. I'm sorry I screwed up your name if I did. Forgive me. But I accepted your poem. This is a poem called Breakdown. It's been years since we have spoken beyond the customary small talk and weather update. The hollow silence audible all too well over the telephone line and short phrases. The hate I wore on my shoulders is worn out and weathered, replaced by the damp, decaying stench of indifference. Maybe this is how some family ties break down, without much noise or dramatic anguish. Thank you. I'm just saying, thank you. And this one, this A.J. Huffman, apparently, I'm going to think it's a woman. But this is a poem by A.J. Huffman called I Am Ocean. A shimmering body you rush into like a child born in the desert. I am calm on the surface, inviting. My voice relaxes, calls you again and again, but I'm full of depths and threats. My shadows have hidden teeth, claws. You wade into my embrace too quickly. I erupt, waving 3 feet over your head, all the while still pulling you further from shore. If you have that, give it up for Down in the Dirt. Hello. He's awesome. And Baraka Shaker, please give it up for my next supermarket. Give it up for Jerry Pendergast.
Should I make a funny face with you first? Or?
Sure. While I'm unwinding the mic.
Why don't you I'll do that afterward. I'll get that. I'm just like this.
Blues train picks up speed away from cities, whistling long, high-ending notes. The wheels eclipse percussion. Blues train takes a wide turn. Blues train rambling slowly over slopey terrain, a river in view. Did an ancient traveler ford the Mississippi, the Missouri, the Rio Grande, and think of the Nile, the Senegal? Blues train infused the bloodstream, soothed the tired muscles of the shiploaders. Blues train lubricate the joints of the dancers, pool players, and the coupling lovers outside the sight of the window gazers. This is called the sim elation. Ass I'm called. I earlier than you. I later than you. To land my language here. Nate, I've heard of him. Is he the one who know no thing about the crops planted, the medicines used by the First Nations that others learned? About the captured and sold, the bodies that dangled from a tree a mile from town? Members of a wrong religion or sect shot in the woods? About the inventions of the escaped, the released? Am I great enough to shun the just off the boat that came a year after me? Am I great enough to be accepted by the came a year before me here? Thank you.
Go ahead, do more. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Should I read a poem? Should I read a poem called Early Frost? Sound of thick branch snapping, muffled by another loud gust and car tires parting a soft ice sheet as I approach a cross street. Branch dangling. Is it the sap? Freezing rain or sheet? Holding the bisected parts together? Or could it be some photosynthesized will to live, like human will and activated platelets? Thank you.
Yes, and I can't applaud appropriately because I want to take a photo with you. And, well, yeah, we got to do that. Oh, you got
Chewy for mayor, he's our man.
shoot. All right, what kind of face should we make?
What up?
We'll see how that turns out. Hey, now, because I didn't do it right, give it up for Janet.
Okay, I don't even have any money to put in this ad, but trust me, I'm going to so fill this up. But we have a phenomenal, I'm so looking forward to this Beast Woman-esque feature from Jackie Wolk. Give it up for Jackie, come on! Well, I was going to say, I'm calling another, oh, would you like to read something now? I was thinking, I was just giving a call because I'm going to tell everybody to give you money. This is all. You go sit back there. Maybe I'm going to have her read something at the end after Poetry, a.k.a. Chips comes on up here. But I am telling you about this, and I'm going to troll around like a little whore and say, give your change, not Lent or feces or something. That would suck. But because she doesn't suck.
That at home.
I got plenty of that at home. So please keep in mind this lovely woman that's come here for this evening. And in the interim, please give it up for one more open micer. Give it up for Poetry himself. Jeez, my darling, get out of my
Hey everybody. It's always cold outside.
Okay.
Could be worse.
No.
It'd be Boston, yeah.
Yeah, our roofs aren't caving in.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just dreaming. Maybe I'm just dreaming of the young screamers outside the block. Or better yet, the young guys that stands up on the block. They screaming for freedom. Or the young girls in the bars at night drinking her pain away. She stuck with depression. Maybe I'm just dreaming of these young boys that got a little hoop styles inside their dream to do something bigger than what they doing. Maybe I'm just dreaming. Maybe I'm just dreaming that mom's sitting there with tears in his eyes. She just broke through cancer. And the bigger thing that she ever seen, maybe I'm just dreaming. It's just the teardrops in my eyes that joy just bring into my eyes. Maybe I'm just dreaming. Maybe I'm just dreaming of the cold weather that we see in Chicago right now that got us all freezing inside. See, is it maybe I'm just dreaming? That piece is called Maybe I'm Just Dreaming, y'all.
Yes.
You do another one?
Oh, please do.
Bring it on.
Locked down in this world that's so tempted with bills and so tempted that life chose. Depression, addicted to the dark side and the dark eyes closed and the whole box that don't see my eyes joke inside. The pain that she's feel that she's aches inside. The rhinos on the corner lives, on the block lives, Chicago lights posing deep inside. Means echoes of the screaming of the young girls on the block. They hear voices inside their head. Their head was gone. Of the young boy that stuck up on the life thinking everything was gone over. Locked up in a cell like an animal. Never calls an affection. Marked down like a cage. Norma back in the day made it seem that we bigger than life chose. She knocked down with depression. Or that guy knocked down with that depression. Lies closed. Feel like he handcuffed, but he just want to break out inside. That piece, y'all.
Wow.
Peace out.
You're awesome. You're going to stay up there and you're going to tell them about your thing. Tell them about their thing.
Oh, we got.
Yeah, tell them about it.
Oh, we got a gig this Saturday.
What?
It's called Ring Shop. I'm gonna be performing. It's gonna be a band, poetry, and it's gonna be nice. It's on it's called Hidden Coal. It's on 5338 North Lincoln Avenue in Chicago.
Nice and north.
That's a karaoke place.
Yeah, and it's gonna be real nice. We're trying to get a lot of people to come out.
That's for this Saturday.
This Saturday coming up.
What time?
Best to get there around 7 something. First time.
And he might have a copy of this, or we can print that out for you, but
Yeah, I got more copies.
you can have copies of that. Do you want to make a goofy face?
Yeah, I think.
What kind of face would we do? Wait, look, what on earth are we doing? Go grin more like an idiot. I have no idea what we're doing. Give it up one more time. Prepare
Yes.
for yourself. Thank you. Keep on copy. Making goofy faces.
Why am I doing this? I'm making the creepiest faces. What am I doing? Before I give a little taste for our feature, before we have a quick break, before our Jaguar feature, because she's going to come up and read like one thing or do something because she's awesome, I was going to read a few things from the new issue of cc&d. This is called The Curve of Arctic Air. Actually, that's the first poem in the book. Actually, The Curve of Arctic Air, and this is what my trip back from Christmas last year was at some road in Indiana. It was just, it was awful. You're going like 18 miles an hour in the roads and stopping like every 10 miles and like, should I get a hotel here? I can't move. And this was one of the only magazine issues where I sent out requests to people asking, which cover do you think would look better? Is this better for the cover or having this winding thing in the background? And this one by by all things won. So I was going to read some poems from this. I have no idea what. This first one.
Sorry.
And there's my music in the background. Just kidding. This is a poem by Edie Lemonnier called Salvation. Neon sign blinks 1,000 times a day. J-E-S-U-S, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. J-E-S-U-S, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Draws the faithful the way neon rain only calls insects to electrified death. This is, well, I'm picking the shorter one. This is from Marianne Sislick, or it's Silic. I don't know because I know people who had Cisco that had a Z in her name. Marianne, this is your poem, and this is of music and metaphor in Somerville, P-I-M-A, Somerville, Massachusetts. Putting her flip phone on vibrate, Lila considers her ex, Dave, who reminds her of an album cover. Out of the sun, he kept his color more or less, but he is not new. She herself is a CD, smaller, her case a little cracked, but inside, not the worse for wear. Their child, Estelle, is a downloaded song, mysterious, fragmentary, free. Give it up for This man publishes stuff and they're always longer. This is a poem by Kenneth DiMaggio. This is reflection number 1 from a perhaps heretical Lectio Divino meditation. He does a lot of serious ones. This is one of them. Just as the rain falls on the suburban chrysanthemums that parents will pose reluctant graduate gown, college-bound teenagers to be photographed in front of, so doesn't it fall in on the ditch or discarded, but more than likely dirty hypodermic needles in Hartford. And when it is rain enough to clean the syringes, which will be used again, God gives this blessing to junkies the same way he does to children who will soon be leaving for the university. Because everybody gets blessed, so give it up for thanks to my year. I know, I'm giving you moody stuff here. This one is, I'm going to do Cheryl L. Milnes's poem. This is called The Ultimate Uncool. Dad and his partner, Nick, drove me and my 2 friends to 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. Every day we rode to school, locked in the back seat of their unmarked sheriff's patrol car behind the bolted-in shotgun. Give it up for Cheryl now. All right, this is short. It's just goofy. I don't know. This is Miley Cyrus is coming. Ronald Charles Epstein. Look out for your sons. Lock up your teddy bears. Hide the foam fingers. Miley Cyrus is near. Sorry. Everybody laughs at that one. I had to go reading that. This is by I.B. Rad. Yes, that's the name that he's given him. This is called Our 9 Black-Robed Priests. This man always goes for the political stuff. This is I.B. Rad, Our 9 Black-Robed Priests. The Constitution's America's holy writ, with its own black-robed priesthood, hearing high-profile appeals of lower court rulings, and despite disconcerting schisms, after months of shrouded deliberation and conclave, this conclave finally issues that puff of smoke so breathlessly awaited by media pundits, to the definitive effect, it's papal bull. Yeah, I love my stuff right here. This one is something lighter, and I'm going to end it up. This is by Jane Stewart, and it is called Jazzy Morning. Dancing through fallen snow on golden winter mornings, my feet tapping icy roads, clicking over ruts. Heels spin, toes push snowfalls to the side, off onto ice. When the wind roars, I remember jumping, leaping from the platform beside a cardboard backdrop near a fountain and quiet patio. Nothing was real, but it was morning. The world faded, time turned to indigo. Yeah. Give it up to cc&d, yeah. And if anybody's interested in spinning stuff, cc&d or Down the Dirt magazines, you can always contact me at any of my magazines, blah, blah, blah. But before we have to break for a feature, I believe my darling's going to come up for, I don't know what she's doing, but you've got all the time in the world to do whatever you'd like. Give it up for a taste for a phenomenal feature from Jackie Wolk. Give it up for Jackie Wolk. Thank you.
Well, I'll do that when you're done, my darling. We'll make a goofy face when you're done. Oh, that.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, thank you, Janet, for the extra poems. I was didn't want to stop in the middle of the row working on this dope Pac-Man scarf I'm making for my nephew. Hopefully, I know it was supposed to be done over Christmas, but I only had the Pac-Man part, and I do all the dots, and now I think I'm at the
Oh my
ghost
gosh,
part.
that's
Probably,
awesome.
yeah, one of the first and last times a teenager thought I was cool. Anyway, so it was very interesting that you should talk about asking for money and wanting money, because after, I would say, about 7 years of being a stay-at-home mom and a volunteer at large and sort of odd jobber at large, making my money off the underground economy. Although I did actually have enough employment to have to file taxes for about 2 years ago. Long story long. Long story long.
Long story long.
Yeah, I'm back at it. I'm updating my resume, hitting the bricks, just for something part-time. What's really funny is that there's all these folks that I know that they sort of think, oh, well, with your kid in school all day, you must have nothing to do. Oh yeah, Jack, you need the structure, you need to socialize. I'm like, no, I need the money. That's it. And here's the self-esteem. And for anybody who's known me, at least in the past 10 years, it's like, when has a job ever given me self-esteem? When have I ever gotten self-esteem from a job? I mean, my relationship with jobs, I'm like the girlfriend who picks like the bad boyfriend, and every time you go out, it's just talking about how they're going to make it work, and the boyfriend's really terrible to her, but she's going to make it work, and then you think she gets a new boyfriend, and you think it's just she, and you think and hope it's going to be better, and it just isn't. But I'm not going to get in, I'm not going to itemize all my job things here, but it really, it's like just getting old asking my husband for $20 or whatever to leave the house or something. Okay. So on that note, this one is called Boss Lady. I'm sure we all know that this is why we work for women of a certain age, the trope. Okay. Back in my day, we didn't have a family medical leave. Where do you get off taking 12 weeks on this? Boss lady. She ties the scarf around her neck and checks in the mirror to see if the loose skin on her chin is showing. She puts on her drugstore rouge. She is proud of the fact that she has come so far in her career on only an undergraduate degree. She comes into the office at 9:20 a.m. because her child could not let go of her leg this morning. She leaves the office at 4:30 p.m. because she's already paid her dues in the industry. She won't let her 5-year-old get a pet because she and her husband find dirt of any kind horrifying. She invites all of her friends in from out of town to celebrate her 45th birthday and buys t-shirts for everybody that read 45 and fabulous.
Oh no.
She thinks that themed restaurants are haute cuisine. She gets into dueling martyr contests at the office with other women about who ate the least amount of food for dinner last night. She goes on a rampage later that morning, demanding everyone hand over their chocolate. She feels entitled to complain about her weight even though she refuses to exercise. She is known for hiring young women straight out of graduate school to mold in her own image and mentor and help create her family's Christmas newsletter on InDesign. Her nickname by her peers is Murphy Brown because she can't keep an assistant for very long. And someday, when she is an old lady, she shall wear purple.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Give it up for Jackie Wolk. We have to take pictures. I don't know what's the goofiest face we can make.
I'll take my partial.
Wait, we should be going like, hey, we're beast if I can't pull your arm up though. These are awesome. I think it just turned that up. We'll see how that one. We'll see.
Let's try that again.
Let's try that again.
Erase it.
Alright, then I'll go back. Go back one. Yeah, we're tough. I know it. Thank you very much, boss. Awesome. Give it up for Jackie.
Now, I know that we've been sitting here being all goofballs, but I think everybody should take a little break, go refill your drinks, because we're going to have I'm so looking forward to this. As Kathleen Chandler Burrs was like, feast, woman, feature. This is so awesome. So please get ready for drinks. Ready for a great feature. Just a few minutes from Jackie Wolk. Come on.
Thank you.